Hi.
Hello.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
How are we feeling?
Oh, I got the Fridays.
The Fridays?
Is that a thing?
No, but like one day is just running into the next right now. Until the end of the year, I stand by that it's just kind of airport rules.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, true that.
Also, I slept so goddamn bad last night. There's no Lumify in the world that can help my red eyes. I have been Lumifying up, so if I look extra devilly today, you guys, that's what it is. I woke up like every hour I just kept turning on Matthew Perry's book for 45-minute increments because I just could not sleep.
Well, I must be sleeping on like concrete pillows because like my neck is nothing can save me. I need a like heating pad, full body heating pad. I'm thinking about getting one of those like acupressure like mats. I don't know.
I don't even know what that is. Is that a TikTok shop thing?
I don't know. It's like a spiky yoga mat. I think I just need.
Oh, I've seen that. It's like acupuncture.
Yeah, I think I just need that.
That's like where you like stand on nails, basically.
You lay on it.
Oh, wild.
I think I just need that. My knee, something's wrong with my knee. My neck is just, yeah. My skeleton's been checking in a lot with me lately, and it's not happy.
Getting real loud.
Mm.
When you go, because you go to the same massage place, are you loyal to the same masseuse or do you just switch it up?
There's definitely like a few that I really like that I'll try to like get in with, and then I'll depending on who's there that day, I'll check in, I'll read reviews, see how they stack up against each other. I don't know.
Do you care if it's male or female or have a preference?
No.
I don't care anymore, but I actually didn't have a male masseuse for the first time until like 2 years ago because I just never felt comfortable with it. And then I dove in, and over time I've liked more pressure, and it's been a cold winter. I like the touch of a man. There's nothing worse than when you just get a dainty massage, which we've talked about.
Oh God, yeah. You really need to get someone to get in there and move some meat around.
Rearrange my organs. Quick reminder, just the top of the episode.
Yes. Keep your stories coming in, whether it's a bad date or ghost story or
literally anything, but your hometown hero stories, whatever you think is funny and you think we'd think is funny, your WWDDs.
Yes.
Send them in to disrespectfullypod@gmail.com.
Please.
We love them.
I love them. Should we dive in?
Some hometown heroes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I guess we should.
We shall.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
With Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically.
We're here to do what we want to do.
Spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
Laura says, longtime listener from day one and VPR fan, I have a funny story about Lacey Chabert, or in my case, the girl from Party of Five, LOL.
Love.
That's a show, I'm assuming.
You haven't seen Party of Five?
No.
Wow.
Never in my life.
Okay, wow. You should watch. I think you would. I feel like you would love that show. You would love Party of Five.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's streaming anywhere. But is that like a Boy Meets World era show? Or?
No, before.
Okay. Because
I think before.
I've never seen 90210 either, and I'm assuming that this is then around.
This is like 90210 era, I believe. Yeah, it was definitely like I was
Party of Five,
probably young to watch it, but I watched it kind of like later on. It's a great show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, back to the story. So in my early 20s, I did resemble Lacey Chabert. This was in the early 2000s when Mean Girls just came out. I turned 21 and was hitting the bars. I would get periodic looks and asked almost every time, "You look like the girl from Mean Girls." I would smile or give them a courtesy laugh and say, "Yeah, I've heard that before." I got invited to a 4th of July house party with a group of girlfriends. I did not know anyone who was there except who I went to the party with. It was a low-key party, about 25 or 30 people, hanging in this woman's garage with the garage door open, which faced the owner, this woman's neighborhood. I was told we were able to see fireworks from the neighborhood. As the night progressed, the host, this woman, got increasingly drunk, being loud, stumbling, and being obnoxious. Is this woman me? Was I there? We were all ready to watch the fireworks when the host of the party starts yelling, "Everyone is a loser and you guys suck and I want everyone out of my house." We all look at each other in disbelief and confusion. Then, for some godforsaken reason, she points at me and says, "You, the Party of Five girl, get out of my house." She got behind a chair I was sitting in and tried to tip the chair so I would fall out of the chair.
Oh my God.
Her friend tried to intervene, but she turned around and yelled at her friend. Needless to say, we got our stuff and booked it out of there as fast as we could. As I'm much older now, I don't resemble Lacey Chabert present day. At least once a week, though, I get a look like You look like someone I know. LOL, thanks, girlies. You guys make my week much more tolerable. Imagine tipping someone out of a chair because you want them to leave so badly.
Oh my God.
And also, you party of 5 girl. That's so funny.
You party of 5 girl.
Okay, wait. So Lacey was on that show. Well, then she must have been really young. Like, because I wonder how old she was when she filmed Mean Girls, but I feel like she was like 25. So what? She was 10 in that show?
Yeah, she was really young on that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I mean, like, she's really pretty, so you must be really pretty.
Yeah. That's not a diss. That's a compliment.
I know, but like, oh my God.
Also, it's always like so funny, not funny, haha, funny, awful when that happens. Like I've been at house parties like that before where someone's like really drunk and just like, get the f out.
What always makes me nervous going to a house party of someone I don't know. Like maybe when I was younger, I'd be like, okay, sure. Like whatever, we'll go to a house party. There's a bunch of people there. Now, like I would feel so uncomfortable going to a house party of someone I didn't know.
Yeah, well, I'm like, I don't know what the parking situation is. I don't know if they'll have the right snacks. Like do they have the drink I want? We just
like who's gonna be there?
Who's gonna be there? I hate being that person to be like, who's gonna be there? But I want to know.
Yeah,
I feel like that's in your 30s thing. Like I need to know who's gonna be there.
How many people? I'm more like, how many people? Is this like an intimate thing or is this like a big party thing? It's like I don't want to show up to like an intimate house party thing where all of a sudden like people are gonna be looking like, why is this person here?
Totes.
Who invited you? You know?
As we all know, women's health has been constantly overlooked for generations. With the lack of products focusing on women's needs, it's what I'd say pretty ridiculous. It's basement behavior. That's why I'm excited about this brand.
What have you done in the past to try and address the issues women can face from vaginal health to hormone health to menopause and beyond? And how has that fallen short?
I mean, I personally, like, first of all, finding the right gyno is harder than finding a partner. Like, it just takes forever. And like, our cookies are so sensitive. At least mine is. She's very delicate.
Oh my gosh.
She needs lots of things.
The wind blows and the pH is off.
The pH is off. Like, it's the plight of my life, a pH imbalance. So having this is like,
oh my gosh.
daddy list.
Oh, it is.
Takes it right from the basement to the daddy list.
It 100% is. And honestly, like the hormones during PMS and beyond that is just,
we're fighting for our lives 3 weeks out of the month.
We said we get one normal week.
One normal week.
But yeah, I mean, O positive has really like came and delivered to get all that in check.
They closed the gap.
They have closed the gap.
We love it.
O positive is on a mission to deliver innovative, clinically backed, fun to take products that support women from their first period to well beyond their last.
They are committed to breaking down the stigmas and addressing the unspoken issues many women experience: hormone health, vaginal health, menopause, etc., etc.
O positive's ability to create real, tangible results has made them a go-to brand for millions of women.
O positive products are available in Target nationwide, and like, who isn't in Target? You've been to Target this week, so it's available to you there.
I've been to a lot of Targets this week. Many factors like sex, working out, hormones, menstruation, the list honestly goes on, can disrupt vaginal health and lead to an imbalance in vaginal flora and pH, unhealthy odor/taste, abnormal discharge, and discomfort.
Euro's clinically studied probiotic strains and prebiotic fibers target these issues at the core and supports healthy vaginal odor, vaginal pH, vaginal flora, and yeast balance.
If you're sexually active, concerned about vaginal scent/taste, often feel vaginal discomfort, or are prone to vaginal imbalance, then Euro is for you.
Euro has over 5,000 5-star reviews and is a top-selling product on Amazon and at Target.
You take 2 capsules a day and they keep everything smelling fresh down there. And to be honest, it's more comfortable during the day-to-day life as well. I swear by them now.
Take proactive care of your vaginal health and head to opositive.com/DRF or enter DRF at checkout for 25% off your first purchase.
That's opositiv.com/DRF for 25% off. This year, I'm thankful for Honey Love because there's nothing worse than suffering from an uncomfortable bra or shapewear. There's nothing
worst of the worst.
Honey Love has revolutionized the bra and shapewear game.
Say goodbye to uncomfortable underwire and bulky fabrics that trap heat. What, you feel like you're wearing a scuba suit? Like, no, thank you. Honey Love's bras feature supportive bonding that eliminates the need for underwire without sacrificing the lift of the ladies. Plus, they're made with fabric that's so soft you won't want to take it off. And their shapewear uses targeted compression technology, so you no longer feel like you're suffocating while wearing effective shapewear. You'll immediately feel and see the difference.
Get yourself the gift of comfort. Plus, for November only, Honeylove is giving up to 50% off site-wide. Visit honeylove.com/disrespectfully to shop their sale and let them know we sent you when their survey asks.
I have never been someone who wears bras, obviously, but I'm actually obsessed with Honeylove's crossover bra. I think it's because it's so comfortable that it doesn't feel like I'm wearing one. And if I feel like anything's on my tatas, I just can't do it.
No boob jail for you.
Mm-mm.
It's crazy though because the crossover bra is comfortable, but it also gives the support of traditional bras without using any of those pesky underwires that just dig into you, leave that mark that's so like not hot. Plus, the mesh detailing adds a touch of sexy that we love, you know?
A little sexy something.
Mm-hmm.
Something else I hate about bras is that back bulge.
Ugh.
It's the ongoing back bulge. But Honeylove's bras are designed with back smoothing fabric to prevent the bulge.
I also love their V-neck bra and Super Power Short. The Super Power Short has targeted compression technology that distinguishes between areas where you want more support and areas you need less compression. Their Signature X targets and sculpts your midsection without squeezing your natural curves. Plus, the best part is it won't ever roll up or down, thanks to the flexible boning hidden in the side seams.
I love flexible boning.
Ooh, yeah.
Flexible boning's my favorite. Honeylove is just as easy to put on as it is to take off. Shapewear shouldn't be hard. You shouldn't be feeling like you're preparing for the Olympics to get into your shapewear.
Mm-mm.
Their products make you look and feel good.
Ladies, give the gift of comfort this holiday season. Whether you're attending a wedding, hosting a big Thanksgiving dinner, or simply seeking that everyday boost of confidence, Honeylove is the perfect +1.
Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market and save up to 60% off site-wide at honeylove.com/disrespectfully until December 4th only. Inventory is limited and the sale ends soon, so don't miss their best deals of the year.
After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Elevate your comfort, elevate your style, thanks to Honeylove.
My toxic trait, it's hard to choose from, but I subscribe to things, instantly forget about them, and then I keep auto paying until the end of time.
And those subscriptions really add up. You don't think you're spending that much, but did you know that most Americans are spending close to $300 on their subscriptions?
It's because there's now an individual subscription for everything.
I
It's
know.
like, you guys, what are we doing here? I don't even want to tell you how much I was spending, but thankfully Rocket Money has changed everything for me.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings.
See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few easy taps.
Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going.
Also, get alerts if your bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. The new goals feature automatically saves money for you without you even having to think about it. Whether your goal is to pay off credit card debt, put money away for a house, or just build your savings, Rocket Money makes it easy.
The best part? Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, sometimes by up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll even deal with customer service, which I never want to.
I would rather sit butt naked on a hot grill than deal with customer service.
Yes.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users that have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when you're using all the app's features.
Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/disrespectfully.
That's rocketmoney.com/disrespectfully. rocketmoney.com/disrespectfully.
Anonymous says, "What's up, guys? Super sick if I've gotten to the point where you're reading this. If so, day one VPR fan, day one disrespectfully listener. Katie, pretty sure you're the love of my life. Dana, you're freaking hilarious. We listen to the same podcast. We listen to weird memoirs to sleep. Your OCD sings to me, sister." Anyways, I'm not sure I want to embarrass myself this way in front of Katie, but I'm going to do it for the pod because I swear to God, only some embarrassing movie tier shit actually happens to me. 4 years ago, I was paying the price for my bad decisions, a DUI. Had the most embarrassing punishment, which is to have the fucking breathalyzer in your car. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sucks.
I was going through a situationship breakup, which are even fucking worse than actual breakup for some reason. Ugh, it's so true.
Truly, it's
Like,
it's such a nightmare.
what is that even? I don't know. Is it because of like the failure to launch I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I think it's because you have unresolved feelings, but then also you feel invalidated because it wasn't an actual relationship when there is so much like it's emotional warfare.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, I found the perfect plot for revenge. It literally laid itself out for me. Almost too perfect. My ex-situationship was involved with someone after leading me on for 2 years. And she had disclosed at some point in our relationship that the girl who had asked to make plans with me this night was also someone she used to tease her ex about on an insecurity level of joking. So of course, Petty being my middle name, I made this a priority to hang out with her. Mind you, I have the breathalyzer in my car. I pull up to this girl's house and she's guiding me to pull behind her car. Oh gosh, she has to work in the morning. If you drink the way any normal person drinks these days, you're blowing over a 0.04 in the morning and your car absolutely is not moving. We had a fun night and wake up and she starts to shower and get ready for work at 10 a.m. I suddenly remember that I'm super and my car's stuck behind hers. I know she's not going to blow below the amount. I know I'm not because one of those nights. And the shots are physically festering inside of you. Anyways, I walk outside and try to blow in the machine once. The thing beeps and it's like, no, you're not driving this car. I have 2 more tries to get this moving before it locks up and I have to have the state unlock it. So I'm tripping. Oh my God, you do?
Wait, well, that's what I was thinking. I would assume with one of those blowy things that if you blow in it once, it will alert. I feel like you could get in trouble for that. Like you're not respecting the rules that happen with a DUI, but it locks it. That's crazy.
I see this man on his porch, an older gentleman. Out of pure desperation, I said, "Hey, you been drinking?" With absolutely no words, this man brings his Bud Ice tall can into my view. Oh my God. So being as brilliant as I am with my wonderful smart ideas, I'm thinking, let's wheel this bitch out in neutral. Oh my God. Why I didn't just sit in the car and steer, God only knows. I put it into neutral and this goes flying down the driveway. And this was just a slight slope, not even an actual driveway incline. Anyway, this man on the porch comes running to help me. So now it's me, this man with the Bud Eyes I met on the porch 5 minutes ago, and my 2-ton Maxima that is still in the fucking way of this woman's car, who is still in the shower with no idea what's going on outside. Long story short, this shit don't work. And homeboy and I are obviously not strong enough to hold the car back. So with the door fucking open and the tires slightly turned, my car rolls in a wide ass turn, clips the chain link fence of the neighbor across the street, turns my door literally fucking inside out, parallel to my tire. Fence is bent as fuck. And I'm just standing there like, fuck, I gotta text this girl because she's about to come out for work. So I'm just like, hey girl, just a fair warning, shit's going down in front, but it's all good. Go to work, I'll deal with it. Mind you, I'm absolutely mortified. Oh my God, imagine coming out to see that sight. So the neighbor comes out and she doesn't speak English. She calls her husband on the phone who does, and I'm speaking to him, telling him, do not call the cops, I'll pay him. Needless to say, the cops showed up, towed my car for expired tags, and that the girl rightfully never spoke to me again. This is why I try not to act out of pettiness. Life will always punish my ass in the same business day. I have since straightened up, no drinking and driving, very childish mistake. I do have arrest stories for this is a very toxic era for days, so this may not be the last you'll hear from me. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. See y'all at Warped Tour. Love you, bye. Oh, girl.
This is such type B.
Oh, girl.
This is such type B energy, though, that the tags were expired also.
Yeah.
Like, this is the definition of your type B friend.
Well, yeah, the fact that you were driving expired tags with a breathalyzer, like you were...
I mean, we're thrilled that you don't drink and drive
That's
anymore.
like some passive-aggressive shit right there.
Why are you risking your biscuit like that? But yeah, no, that's surprising to me that it just shuts down your car and someone has to turn it off, because I would assume it would like send police to arrest you if you're like trying it. That's crazy.
I don't know if it has, I don't know. Just sends out a bat signal to the sky.
It's a martini.
Oh my God.
Heather says, I love you both. I can't even begin to think of how many times I've laughed out loud at 6 a.m. while stocking shelves for Hallmark, listening to you guys. I'm fairly certain there are people who think I'm insane from seeing these moments. Okay, So just call me Tinker Pussy. A story for another time. My town would only require like one listener for this to be figured out. So I moved back to my hometown for a reset, and my old high school crush started trolling my Facebook account. Eventually, I got sick of waiting for him to make a move, and I reached out to him through Messenger. He basically told me he had a messy situation with his on and off girlfriend, but I said I was still down to meet for dinner to catch up if it wasn't going to cause any drama. Do it for the plot, right? We met for dinner and talked outside the restaurant for a few hours after they had closed. It did seem like it was too messy for me to get involved with, so we parted ways and didn't really speak much for a while afterwards. Fast forward to a month later, our birthdays are in the same month, and he sent me a thirst trap while I was drinking out on a date. I immediately responded with, "What time are you coming over?" And the flirting started back immediately. I do need to throw out here that the last time we had spoken, he had said that him and this chick had broken up. Tinker Pussy. What? Finally, we decided to meet up on a Monday night. This was after so much buildup with the dirty talk, dirty pics. I had a ridiculous amount of nerves associated with the fact that he had been my high school crush, and it somehow threw me back into the insecurities of being in high school instead of my normal confident self. We talked for way too long before he finally made a move, and I have to say from the beginning, it was a letdown. Oh God, it's such a bummer when you have it built up, when you're so excited to hook up with someone and it's just not it. Kissing him was like trying to figure out where his lips were and his tongue belonged, all while barely making eye contact. It was like his mouth was a hoverboard and didn't know where to land, all while his tongue flicked here and there. Oh no. Once on the couch, he was kissing my neck, and suddenly it was like he was trying to suction off various parts of my skin with his mouth. Why? Is this something people do? I mean, maybe he's trapped in high school, because that was definitely a high school thing.
Yeah.
Each time he did this, it made such a loud popping sound, I had to try and hold back laughing. Finally, I had to tell him that I didn't want marks on my neck, rather than screaming, "What the fuck are you doing?" I kept thinking it had to get better, right? Wrong. Somehow the photos he had sent me of his dick did not actually look the same as what I was greeted with when he finally took his pants off. I don't know how he managed to take shots to make it look considerably larger, but I just thought to myself, it doesn't have to be a deal breaker. It doesn't have to be a deal breaker. Once we finally began, all I could think was, what is happening? Is he Mormon or from Utah? Are we soaking right now? Oh my God. The amount of time he just spent not moving, but trying to get as deep as possible was flabbergasting. Is this a trick that needs to happen when somebody doesn't have the size? Was he broken, tired, punking me? Lucky for me, it didn't last long enough for me to have to deal with the questions for too long. I did learn that I'm more like a stereotypical guy than I realized, because all I could think about when I left was that I finally did it. I finally had sex with, let's just call him Jack Miller. It was like crossing something off my to-do list. I will also say there was something really funny to me about knocking him so far off the pedestal I put him on. Let this be a lesson to you folks that no matter how hot somebody is or how much you believe the sex would be amazing, they can always be some weird suction mouth soaking human who has no idea what they're doing even in their 40s. Cheers. It is so true that sometimes you build someone up, or like, I mean, it's also different when the foreplay in terms of like the banter and the texting is all good, and then you end up hooking up with them and it's a nightmare. But like, I have definitely hooked up with people in my life where I was like, this is like a 10 out of 10, whatever. And it was just like bad.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, there's no better feeling than, actually, no, there's a better feeling. It is a good feeling. It is a great feeling when it's like that person that you have held in the back of your mind and had them on the pedestal. And it's that person that you've always like wondered what if, or like you've just been so curious about for so long. And you can finally be like, never mind. Because you want to be able to just like either once and for all know or date them or something, just to get him off of your mind. And yeah, it can be very disappointing. It's definitely happened to me where I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. And for me, kissing is such an indication of what's to come. And I'm not at all going to say I haven't had like a bad kisser and then just like gone through with hooking up with them, but it doesn't usually get better. Like the bad kisser is the same left lip rubber that's like, did you come? Like, it's one and the same.
No, because I personally, I love kissing. I love to make out. And it's like, if I can't do that with you and like just strictly do that, no,
right.
We're gonna have a bad time. So, but yeah, cross that one off the list.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Nikki says, "Hi ladies, love your pod. I work at Costco as a night shifter in the clothing department, and your podcast saves me from going completely insane while folding, LOL. I have a story that involves sleep paralysis demon that I came face to face with back in 2018. When I lived in Chicago, my best friend and I found ourselves nestled in a cozy little storefront that had been transformed into a dance studio. My best friend, a gifted psychic, and I shared a fascination with the divine, and together we sensed that our space was alive with an unusual energy. We were two magical women living in this cute little space with a lot of weird shit happening around us. Lost items would mysteriously reappear as if they were never missing, and furniture would occasionally switch positions, leaving us both scratching our heads. I'll never forget the day my friend was in a stress cleaning frenzy when suddenly the cork of a bottle of whiskey she had sitting around just popped off on its own. She glanced at the open bottle and just said, "Whoever that was, thank you. I guess I do need a drink." It was all innocent fun. Just playful hauntings that made us giggle during our morning coffee dates. But there's this one experience that still sends chills down my spine. I never dealt with sleep paralysis before until I lived in this space. Some nights I would wake up, frozen in place, unable to move, while shadowy figures danced around me. Most of the time, these dreams weren't too scary, a bit jarring, but nothing compared to what I was about to experience. Before I tell you girls this experience, it's important to mention that at this point in my life, I was drowning in deep depression and my mind felt like a dark, unsafe place. So one night I slipped into sleep paralysis again. I opened my eyes to find a sinister figure looming over me, a man with an unsettling grin, think the movie Smile, saying things like, "Blank yourself, you're worthless, you're nothing." I was in distress, trapped in my body, vulnerable and helpless. Then it hit me. This voice was the embodiment of my own darkest thoughts, taking shape before my eyes. In that moment, I decided I wasn't going to let these words cause me any more pain. I screamed inside my mind, "Fuck you, voice. Get out of my head. Leave me alone." But because I was paralyzed, my voice came out sounding all distorted, like that scene in Poltergeist when the little girl talks through the TV static. I was terrified. I fought back with everything I had, desperate to shut him up. Finally, I broke free from the paralysis, waking up drenched in sweat, a bit shaken, but satisfied with my fight. That night has stuck with me ever since. I still think about that chilling smile and those words, but I also reflect on how far I've come since then. Today, I'm in a much brighter mental space, feeling stronger and more alive. Sometimes I wonder if that encounter was a haunting meant to push me to face my demons. After that night, little by little, day by day, I started to find the parts of myself that went missing into that darkness. I wanted to tell this story to shed a little light on my belief that not all hauntings are malevolent. Sometimes spirits are here to guide us, to help us through hard times and shed a little light on the things that we don't want to see clearly. Anyways, thanks for taking time to read this. I have so many more stories to share. Let me know if you'd like to hear more. Love you girls forever and always, Nikki.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Sentiment, especially if they're in the paranormal realm.
I know. That's really great that like you were able to like take that and turn it into something positive, as scary and freaky as that is. But
well, I love that she recognized that it was projections of her own fears about herself. And there's just nothing worse than sleep paralysis. Okay, choose one. Sleep paralysis, being stuck upside down on a ride for 2 hours, or shitting your pants during a marathon.
Paralysis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I still choose death.
Okay, if you had to choose one.
God, I would probably say ride upside down for 2 hours.
You're nuts.
Oh, shit your pants and get it over with.
No. Well, I guess
running.
I could end up shitting my pants on...
While running a marathon.
Yeah, I guess I would do... Actually, I'm kidding, because I would just shit my pants on the side of the road. Like, or just like do that.
No, you have to do it while you're running and you cannot stop.
Oh
and
my...
somebody gets a video of you and posts it on the internet.
And the cameraman in your face.
Sleep paralysis.
Okay, sleep paralysis.
100%.
Nightmare.
Do you know what? I saw a funny thing, a meme, because you know how like they've been announcing all of like, you know whose administration, whatever, blah, blah, blah. After last week, and we talked about the Hat Man. They're like, this just in, Trump announces the Hat Man, head of pharmaceuticals. I laughed so hard. I was like, oh my God.
That's amazing.
That is a good one. I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. Anyways,
well,
thanks.
Thanks for writing in for those guys. Should we help some people out?
Let's solve some problems.
Let's solve some problems. Let's WWDD.
Let's WWDD. Lily says, "Hello, Disrespectfully podcast. I want to start by saying that I adore you two bad bitches. Thank you.
We adore you too.
We adore you too. This is my comfort podcast, and I am always so excited when I have a new episode to watch/listen to. I'm 23 years old, and I'm going through my first real breakup. Ugh, I'm sorry.
It's so hard.
The first one.
First cut is the deepest.
First one is the worst. We were together for 4 years, and it's been a whirlwind. We were a quarantine couple, so we moved in a month after meeting each other and rarely spent any days apart. So we were extremely codependent together. We broke up 3 months ago, and I've been doing better for the most part. I still cry often about good memories we shared or about missing him, but I'm surprisingly okay considering the circumstances in which we broke up. We had been completely okay until a month before he ended things when he became very distant. I consistently asked if there was anything wrong, and he kept saying he was only depressed, but that it had nothing to do with me. Then on a random Sunday morning, he told me that he wanted to break up, but still wanted to keep the door open, and moved out of the apartment an hour later with the help of his friends. Oh, it's cold.
That's a lot.
We shared a car, so suddenly I was carless. He took our bed, and on top of all that, said that if I wanted to get back together, that I needed to change things about myself.
He took your car and your bed. What is he, the Grinch?
What the fuck?
Coming in, making sure he gets every ornament on the way out?
We also had a cat together, but because she was originally his, he took her.
So sad.
We didn't speak much initially after breaking up, but recently he's been reaching out, and we ended up meeting up and we had sex. Since then, he's been messaging me here and there, saying really romantic things or bringing up cute memories we have. And then on the other hand, going a day without responding to my responses. I'm extremely confused, and I don't know if I should give this energy or not. I still have love for him and didn't want to break up in the first place, but I've made so much progress in my healing process, and I don't know if it's worth disrupting that, only to be potentially let down. What do I do, besties? Love you guys. Ugh, what?
I know what to do. Are you thinking the same thing?
What?
You need to cut this person out of your life.
Yeah. He took your fucking bed and the car and the cat. Like, he left you without a bed. Like, out of nowhere. Well, first of all, like, a month in, he's getting like distant and says, like, I'm just depressed, has nothing to do with you. But then like says he wants to break up, and an hour later is like moving.
And keep the door open, which is like the breadcrumbing of that.
Yeah.
And then they just come an hour later.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he had like something else on the side and was like, didn't quite know how to like break it to you. Couldn't be a fucking adult about it. But the fact that like, yeah, you can take the bet. Like if you're the one moving out, and leaving somebody behind, you don't get to take all that shit.
Right.
I understand maybe the car, you guys could have talked about that, but like still, like the fucking bed? No, this person needs to be cut, to be honest.
Well, also, so my first boyfriend, because I mean, we broke up 1,000 times, but I actually learned from him the power of cutting people out and silence and how you take your power back. And I also learned from him, if you have a history of someone and you loved them and you were in a relationship, you're never, ever, ever going to move forward until they are not in your life. Like, I think that it's the exception, not the rule, when people are able to keep exes in their life. And particularly if you slept together. And also, don't beat yourself up about that. Of course that was going to happen. Like that, you miss each other, things are sad, you romanticize the good times. But since you've made such progress, this person does not care about you the way that you would want or need them to care about you based on how they've acted. So I very much say move forward, and not at all diminishing because of your age, because like we said, like your first breakup is so hard, but you're so young. 23 is young. Try it out. Put a goal. Be like, okay, I'm not going to speak to him for at least 3 months, and see how much your life changes in that time. Like, guarantee you'll make leaps and bounds. So.
Yeah, the fact that you've made so much progress, you've come to terms with it, you're focusing on yourself, like, don't go back.
And also don't creep on their social media. Don't invite them into your space, and it will help you move on so much quicker. Also, since you guys met up and had sex, you need to listen to the song Sex with My Ex by Fletcher. That's a banger, and it will encapsulate probably exactly how you're feeling. So
yeah, you're 23. You're going to meet so many more people.
You're going to be disappointed by so many other people. I'm just kidding. Who knows?
But I
Maybe
mean,
the
like,
next person
again,
you
like, this is a nice learning tool.
I know these are important experiences that we have along the way in our formative years. So
for sure. But yeah, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye to that man. Vanessa says, hello, disrespectfully ladies. I wanted to reach out and pick your brain over a situation I keep contemplating in my head. Before I ask your opinion on how to move forward, I want to give you a little bit of backstory. My best friend was with her ex of 9 long years. During the course of a relationship, we would catch up every couple months, and she would tell me the shitty things about her relationship, like her being disrespected multiple times, used for money, used for her car, used for her resources. and my best friend just somehow always getting the short end of the stick. I would tell her multiple times, you need to get out. And finally, after 9 years, she had enough and got out of the relationship. She told me more about her emotional and mental abuse she endured within the relationship, and she has worked hard for the past 3 years to separate herself from her ex. Bought a condo, got promotion at work, a new dog, been on a health journey, and has been thriving in life as a single gal. I was so happy to have my best friend back, and for the last 3 years, we've been the three amigos with my husband, and we practically are always together. Now this is the dilemma. My best friend is dating and recently met a girl who's a huge red flag. My best friend is not blind to the red flags. She says she notices them, but just wants to have fun, and whatever happens, happens. The girl has an obsessive attachment behavior. They FaceTime all day while working, not even talking to each other, just literally on the phone, seeing each other work from home. The girl doesn't have a car and lives an hour away, lives at home with dad and her brother, who is physically abusive toward her. And when I met her, she didn't even try to make a good impression with me, just was very smug and uninterested in getting to know me. My best friend cannot stop raving about this girl, and although I was very clear about how I do not like this person, I know my best friend is trying to change my mind with positive encounters she has with her so I can try and meet her again and give her another shot. I don't want my best friend to be Captain Save-A-Ho. We're in our 30s, and I feel like you should at least have some of your independence and shit together. I know my bestie is very empathetic and has a huge heart, and I feel like it's only a matter of time before this girl moves in with her and then is practically living off my best friend's things that she's worked so hard for in the last 3 years. With her last relationship, I would do things with her and her ex, although I hated her ex for the past 7 years of their relationship and just sucked it up being around a person I don't like. But I'm at a point in my life where if I don't fuck with you, I'm not going to share my space with you. And I'm scared of the rift my boundaries can cause in my friendship with my best friend of 15 years. I'm scared of losing her again, what my opinion is, and another shitty relationship waiting to happen, a sinking ship. How do I move forward with my best friend? I want to be true to myself while still being considerate of her feelings. I feel like I'm watching a car crash, but in slow motion. Disrespectfully yours, a concerned BFF. I mean, this is a tough one because at some point in your life, you have to just let your friends make their own decisions. And especially if you're in your 30s, it's incredibly difficult to watch a friend with someone that is bad for them and to watch patterns repeating themselves. And, you know, I'm guessing since this person has an obsessive attachment style, I'm guessing she's probably not been friendly to you because she doesn't like her having other people in her life, which is also very scary to watch happen. So the problem is though, even though you're watching this car crash in slow motion, you have to just let her do what she's going to do. And I think it's totally fair to voice your concerns and let her know where you stand. But then you just have to choose the boundary of if you can have her in your life. If it's a thing where you don't want to lose your friends, so maybe you just put a little more distance between you. Like, you just have to decide if you can deal with it or not. And like, I understand also being at a point in your life where, because I'm there too, like I'm not going to be around anyone I don't want to be around. So it's just for you more so to let them do what they're going to do and then make your decision.
Yeah. I know like you're enjoying having your best friend around and she's hanging out with like you and your husband, but you know, she also might be wanting a relationship. And she says she's aware of the red flags and you have to trust that she has both her eyes open and she might be repeating a pattern of behaviors that isn't healthy for her, but she's gonna have to figure that out on her own. And I know like you would love to be able to like save her from making those mistakes, but unfortunately she's gonna have to make up on her own. Again, there's nothing wrong with voicing your concerns and maybe just trying to be like, this feels like something familiar and something you've been through. And I, would hate to see you go through it again. That's as much as you can say, unfortunately. And it might mean putting some distance between you and your friend, but that's what you have to do for yourself rather than causing yourself more grief, because it will cause tension and fights and arguments rather than just putting a little space.
Yeah.
And seeing less of them. I mean, I don't know. It's a bummer, but
it's totally a bummer, but it's also putting space between you guys is better than there being a blow up because, you're in a situation you don't want to be in. So tough one though.
It is really tough, but I don't know. Maybe it's only been 5 weeks.
Yeah. Maybe just let it unfold a little more.
Maybe unfold. Maybe, it'll blow over and maybe it's just,
Hope this helps.
Hope it helps. Or who knows? Maybe this person actually is better than they seem.
Yeah. It's not looking good, but
it's not looking. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm trying to be optimistic here. Elizabeth says, "Dear Katie and Dana, I have a question. Am I the asshole for not sending a thank you note for a wedding gift? Here's the sitch. My husband and I met at work. We kept on the down low because these coworker people love to gossip. I mean, I do too. It still provided a lot of fodder for the water cooler mill. Anyway, after 3 years of dating, we got engaged, and then came wedding prep and selecting the guest list. Basically, if one of us did not want a coworker there, it went to the no invite list. My husband didn't invite his boss. I invited mine. I did not invite my coworker, Susan. Oh, Susan. Now, Susan is the type to turn anyone's health issues into a lunch topic. How do I know about her son's prosthetic ball test? Oh, God. And frozen sperm? Well, Susan. Susan can magically turn any situation to something wildly uncomfortable. She constantly critiques people for having anything imaginable. A work lunch has veered into her snipping through threads of a colleague's cardigan. What? As they have made an appreciation speech about all the hard work we do on our backs. What? We're not sex workers. We're in education. I have awkward coworkers. It's surreal. I don't know. I don't quite understand it. Anyway, Susan did not make the invite list. All right, there we go. However, as soon as the invitations went out, she swiftly sent a gift. She would have either 1, gotten the registry from somebody who was invited, or 2, searched for our registry after the invites went out. I did not acknowledge the gift. She did not mention it. After about a year after the wedding, I was answering questions about my wedding at a work lunch. Susan immediately declared, how did they make the wedding guest list and I did not? Which to me confirmed my suspicion that Susan only gave the wedding gift as a way of telling us that she knew that some of our coworkers were invited and she wasn't. I don't feel like the gift was given with good intentions, so I had no intention of thanking her for it. So am I the asshole? Love y'all and y'all's podcast. Thank you for being authentically you. I'm scared. I'm scared of Susan.
This is like the Lisa Rinna Blue Bunny.
Oh, God.
You should have just brought her the crock pot to the thing and just watched her cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, people like Susan make everything about themselves. I think, I don't think you're an asshole for not acknowledging it, but like with people like Susan, you kind of, just to keep them off your back, you do have to just sort of like appease them a little bit. So when it came to like Susan sending you the gift, you probably should have just acknowledged it. I don't think you're an asshole for not doing it, but I think you could have probably guessed that this was going to happen. You probably could have looked into the crystal ball and seen that this was going to come up at some point.
Your butterfly is upside down. It's bugging the shit out of me.
All right.
I have a little bit of a different take. I say fuck Susan, burn it to the ground. She wasn't invited to the wedding, so it was very passive aggressive and weird that she was able to find the registry and whatever.
Of course.
So my take on it is exactly what you said. No, you were not the asshole. And also the way that she even said, how did they make the guest list and I did not? I would say literally just pause, give her a 3-second neutral and say, I'm surprised you feel comfortable asking me that. That's super weird. Like, obviously they made the guest list and you didn't because you suck and I know too much about your son's balls. Like, so I just think I know this personality and she did. She sent it to be petty and like, I don't know if you were able to reject it, but regardless, I personally would be like, it would have been a way for her to be like, yeah, I'm glad you got the gift. I was sad I didn't make it to the wedding. She was trying to trap you in an uncomfortable conversation. So no.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that you're an asshole for not like thanking her for it. But I mean, at that point you had one of 2 options, making it just a fucking whole thing by not saying anything, or 2, just being like, oh, hey, thanks for that. Or 3, you could have been like, I never got your gift. What gift?
Yeah. Perfect.
I didn't get a gift from you.
Easy peasy.
It's just, I don't know.
You're like, I didn't ever see an easy bake oven. What are you talking about?
Did you send a gift? We didn't get a gift. That's weird. You didn't get an invite, so I don't know how you sent. Maybe someone else's registry you sent it to. Maybe it was a different.
Yeah. How would you send a gift if you didn't get an invite? That's strange.
We didn't get a gift from you. That's so weird.
Susan's a weirdo, but also please send in your "Am I the asshole?" WWDs.
Oh, yeah.
I would love more of these. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I am personally really good at shopping for my gals and my Laszlo, but men are really tough to shop for, mostly because I don't talk to any.
I have also found it difficult to shop for the men in my life until I found Mac Weldon. You want the men in your life to feel and look good? Find the perfect sweet spot between comfort and style with Mac Weldon.
Whether you're looking for light as air underwear, anti-odor tees because they're so stinky, or sweaters with lightweight warmth, you can find the perfect gifts for him all in one place at macweldon.com/gifting.
And right now you can build and save up to 15% on a pack of underwear, socks, or tees. So why not upgrade his underwear drawer this holiday season?
I got the Ace straight leg sweatpants for the main man in my life, Logan, and he said they're super comfortable. He's actually worn them like every time I've seen him since I got them for him. And I've seen him many, many times.
Dang, he must really like them.
He loves them.
The AirKnit X boxer briefs are amazing. Their unique mesh structure is moisture wicking and odor fighting, keeping you cool, dry, and comfortable all day long.
All day?
All day.
Wow. And you can save up to 15% off when you customize a pack of your favorite underwear, socks, or tees.
Oh, and while I was buying the AirKnit X boxer briefs, I also got myself the Ace sweatpants, and I have been living in them. So me and Logan are like twinsies.
Twins.
They are crafted with micro brushed French terry and featuring a modern tailored silhouette.
Warm knit flannel will elevate his look and keep him nice and toasty with Thermalite technology. This soft, lightweight flannel is designed to trap heat and wick away moisture. Ace Half Zip is a perfect layer when he wants to look sharp without sacrificing comfort. This half zip is made with Mack Weldon's famous Ace fabric.
Get the perfect gifts for him from Mack Weldon. Go to mackweldon.com/gifting and get 25% off your first order of $125 or more.
That's MackWeldon.com/gifting.
Fall, Meg Ryan fall, is in full swing, and while our days are shorter, our to-do lists are not. Green Chef can make your busy weeks easier with home delivery of step-by-step recipes and quality whole foods, including organic fresh produce in every box.
Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for clean eating, so you can feel good about creating good-for-you meals with limited processed ingredients.
Save yourself time meal planning, shopping, and prepping, which I hate. Everything you need to make fresh, delicious meals is included. Plus, the ingredients are not only high quality, but come pre-measured and prepped, including pre-made sauces and some pre-cut produce. Every week, you'll find menu options for every lifestyle, from Mediterranean meals to customizable plant-based options and certified gluten-free recipes.
Green Chef makes it easy to support your whole body health with wellness-focused solutions for every meal from breakfast to dessert. Find all sorts of curated items to aid digestion for all those hot girls out there with tummy problems, provide inflammation support, and boost fiber like ready-to-blend smoothies, Alex A2 milk ice cream, and kombucha.
My favorite thing about Green Chef is that the flavors change by the season, so you're never going to get bored. I love the flavors of fall, and right now the menu includes the colors and flavors of fall. It's just so cozy.
Which you just love.
Recipes feature fresh, seasonal, organic produce like delicata squash, cranberries, Brussels sprouts, green beans, maple syrup, and pumpkin.
You can even have a clean, feel-good Thanksgiving with all the fixins from Green Chef, featuring organic, free-range turkey, stuffing, gravy, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and apple crumble.
Yum. The other day, I had the cranberry barbecue turkey burgers, and honestly, it was insanely delicious.
Well, and we all know I'm such a sides person, and the sides are amazing. I had the barbecue pork meatloaf, and it came with green beans with toasted pecans, cabbage, and applesauce. So fall, so demure.
It's cute. Green Chef just celebrated its 10th birthday last month. That's a decade of helping you eat more deliciously, sustainably, and nutritiously with restaurant-worthy recipes made with clean, quality ingredients.
Also, did you know? Green Chef is owned by HelloFresh, and with a wider array of meal plans to choose from, there's something for everyone. I love switching between brands, and now our listeners can enjoy both brands at a discount with us. There's a reason why their tagline is the #1 meal kit for eating well.
Go to greenchef.com/disrespectfully50 and use code disrespectfully50 for 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next 2 months.
That's code disrespectfully50 at greenchef.com/disrespectfully50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next 2 months. Anonymous says, "Hello, wonderful queens. Katie, obsessed and be happy to see you thriving. I've loved watching you on Vanderpump Rules, and I hope we can see more of you in any capacity. Dana, I've been a day one fan and selfishly wish we could see you on reality TV again someday. I really respect you both, and I've enjoyed your podcast a lot on my drives to and from work." That's all very sweet. We love you. Here's my issue. I'm a gay man who luckily comes from a very accepting and loving family, one that is primarily made up of people who did not vote for the president-elect. The people who did vote for him in every election he's been a part of were my grandparents, who are very intelligent people, but not necessarily hateful. So in the past, we've been able to kind of agree to disagree and not talk about it. My partner and I are moving to a new city in 2 weeks and will be missing Thanksgiving in my hometown this year, so I prioritize planning a trip for Christmas. The problem is, I'll have to see my grandparents for the holiday. And as I process the rest of the election, I can't help but feel angry and disgusted by their decision to vote for him. Because of many factors, their decision means something so much different than it did before. My first reaction was to cancel our plane tickets and do something different for Christmas, but my partner is so kind and has been gently urging me to not make any rash decisions and think it through. Political tolerance seems so difficult right now. I just don't know how I can be around them without feeling incredibly uncomfortable and angry at them. But I feel comfortable around the majority of my family and I do miss them, so it feels wrong to let two bad apples ruin the whole bunch. I'm so conflicted on whether I should protect my peace and avoid my grandparents or try to ignore my anger and visit with the rest of the family. Thank you for any of your thoughts.
Hey.
I, first of all, love that your partner is being so supportive
Yeah.
and not wanting you to miss out on a special time. And honestly, if you do get along with the majority of your family, I don't really want you to miss out on that either. Although I obviously understand, we understand better than anyone. You know, unfortunately, the president-elect is the reason everything's so volatile and has been that way for years. And I really hate that. I mean, we've talked about it before, like boring politics and people could just disagree and we could all move on with our life. But you are directly impacted as a gay man with what is coming down the pipeline because of the new administration. So I know that's a tough one. What do you say?
I mean, no, I agree because it's like it's not the whole family. It's just two of them that are kind of like ruining your potential plans and your excitement and desire to want to go spend the holiday with them. It's very different now from being able to just be like, agree to disagree and just like we can still kumbaya together. It's a very different time when that people who are supposed to love and support you actively make decisions and vote against things that directly affect you. Like it's hard not to like feel some way about that, to feel offended, to feel hurt by those decisions. It's a completely different climate now. I don't know. I mean, I think definitely give it some more thought and talk to the rest of your family too and see how they feel about it. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. I think we obviously can't make this decision for you. You will ultimately know what's right for you. But I think that taking a beat and not making either way a decision from an emotional, angry place, it's better to, take a breather and then maybe chat with your family.
Because I think if you have the support of the rest of your family there, and I think that'll make you feel or make you come to a decision easier than just kind of acting out of emotion.
Yeah.
Anonymous says, let me start by saying I'm a huge fan of the both of you and can always relate to your stories on the pod. Where to begin? I've been on the birth control pill for 14 years. I was 17 when I started, and around 5 years ago, I changed pills to a different type as my doctor recommended. This pill ended up leading to weight gain and low libido. This was very shocking to me as I've always been fit and a sexual being. Obviously, those two factors affected my sex life / mental health. My partner has been with me through it all and has always been very understanding of the effects of birth control, and we've managed to find other ways to be sexual together. After 13 years, I've decided I want to get off the pill completely as I don't even remember myself without it. Do you have any words of advice about getting off birth control? As excited as I am, I also am scared of the unknown. I'll take any advice or stories you guys have, as many women don't like to discuss these topics. Thank you in advance. Wow. It's definitely a decision to get off of it. And I mean, if you have a partner who's like supportive of it and you guys can make healthy decisions moving forward about like different, I don't know if like your decision on having kids is and all that, but obviously like we're to discuss that. But yeah, I know birth control has massive effects on hormones, whether it be your weight, mood, libido, all those things. And if you decide to like go without it, to want to like recalibrate, rebalance those things, like I think you absolutely should. I mean, I know I got off of it, oh God, I don't even know how long ago. And I feel like it definitely took some time to like feel not normal again, or just, I don't know what the word is, because I was on it since I was so young.
Yeah, I do think that's a big problem. Honestly, I was on birth control from 16 to 31, and you just get on it and then just stay on it, and they tell you it's fine. And I'm sure that I'm not a doctor, so I'll let doctors say what it is. But for me personally, you should look it up because you should be prepared for it. It's called like post birth control syndrome or whatever. I had no idea what was going to happen to me when I went off it. I had a really difficult time coming off it for like 6 months. I hadn't had acne since like middle school. I had crazy acne for like a year and a half. I didn't end up having a period for like 6 months. I had like one, and then 2 months later had another one, and then it was like 6 months. And I was like, am I ever going to get a period again? All these things, like, and I was having big hormonal issues. But I will say, I'm really glad I went off it. I personally will never get back on it. But after I got through that like year and a half, periods super regular. My periods have been better. And I honestly, I think I originally went off it because I was optioning freezing my eggs. So it's like I wanted to be off it to like do the testing and stuff. And then I've decided not to go forward with that. But after I got off it, just for me, like there's other ways to practice safe sex if you're not trying to have a child. So it was just like condoms, doing other things. I no longer want to put these different hormones in my body. And I just am glad that I'm personally off it. So it is an adjustment. But if you do want to do it, I would definitely encourage that, especially if you've had negative effects on the pill.
Yeah, I agree.
Anonymous says, hello, would appreciate advice on how to deal with an adversarial, condescending male coworker with less experience who is convinced he knows more than everyone else. He generally is like this across the board, including toward the boss, but his bad behavior seems to be ignored or somehow tolerated by others. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately, I wish we had come further than we are right now. And I think that as a woman, you know, they were saying, honestly, in the presidential race, like Kamala's taking a different test. As a woman in the workforce, you are taking a different test at all times. You have to be twice as qualified. You have to work harder. You have to navigate the way in which you communicate with others, because instead of just being strong, opinionated, whatever, you are labeled a bitch and people can come for you about that. So like, unfortunately, you do have to navigate this in the most, I would say, being direct and firm, but as politically correct as you can, and kind of keeping your side of the street clean. And then honestly, once you have like solid examples of this, I don't know if it's a manager or whatever, you can run it up the flagpole. And I understand can get tricky when they're getting someone's playing favorites, but then there's also like HR and other people. But I would say if you are not able to deal with this on your own, it makes sense to pull other people in who are higher ups. It's why they're there.
Yeah, especially when this behavior is kind of across the board, even towards a boss. It just seems like he's just gotten away with it for a long time. He tends to push boundaries and push limits with people, and it's gotten ignored. So yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, run it up the flagpole to whoever you need to. But in the meantime, I hate to say don't challenge him, but like it's best not to like become enemy number one with this man, because you're not going to win with him. He doesn't seem to care who he upsets, who he pisses off. He's always going to be right in his mind. And I don't think it's worth it. I think, his behavior is predictable at best. Well, you know it too. So I think just being confident in the fact that like this man is, I don't know what the word is, like not weak, but like his mindset is what it is. So like, I think being one step ahead of somebody, I think, is where you can win in this. You know what you can predict from him. So like if you can just stay a couple steps ahead of him, and then in the meantime, try to make people aware of it. Try to like see what can be done about it.
Well, I'm like, I handle things. I mean, I would be 10 toes down on this, but I would say is kind of like we were just talking about with the Susan. I'd be like, I'm surprised you feel comfortable talking to me that way, or a coworker that way, and just pause. Neutral. You do not have to respond to anyone or like fill the space. So I think there's a lot of power in neutrality and just having someone get their behavior pointed out, and especially if you're in a group.
Yeah.
And just let it sit. Let that marinate.
Yeah.
I think that's so strange.
But I'm just saying, like, he's probably not gonna respond well to that. I'm not talking about coddling him. I'm not talking about trying to be polite with him. I'm just saying, like, you can predict how he's going to respond. So if that's the case, be prepared. with something like that.
Yeah.
With a response in that way. I'm just saying, like, you're already probably a lot smarter than him. So,
and then let him get combative, and then that's when you don't respond to that, and then now you have another example. And keep notes, dates, times, who was there, what was said. Keep track of it for HR.
I love it. Lauren says, "Greetings, Coven sisters. Love the pod, and you too. Let's get right into it. I've been in a situationship for a little over 2 years. At the time it started, I have given up on relationships, but still craved attention and intimacy. So I wanted to find someone who would do all the cute couple things when we were together. But when we weren't, we would just do our own thing. Maybe just a more sophisticated version of being friends with benefits. I met him and things just kind of fell into place. I was happy and satisfied with how things were going. We did also develop a good friendship until about a year into it, and I ended up getting pregnant. We still aren't in anything official, and I'm not necessarily in a rush to be with him, but my feelings have changed. I would like to try things, but I don't want to pressure him just because we have a kid together. I can see a future with him. I'm stuck between this has been going on for 2 years, move on, and stay. I feel like if he doesn't see what he's got in front of him after 2 years, he probably never will. I think we owe it to our child and ourselves to try to be a family, and I truly think it could work. He's so hot and cold and such a man that he never talks about his feelings. What should I do? Move on and try to find someone that will accept my son and I, or continue the situationship that I'm not unhappy in, but also not happy in? Please help. Thanks."
You have a third option. You can be alone and be happy with your son.
Yeah.
And it's not at all that I don't have compassion for your feelings, and they're totally valid, but like sometimes there are worse things than being alone. And honestly, if this man, after you've had a child together and you've had a situationship for 2 years, you guys aren't in a relationship, I feel like he's being pretty clear about how he feels about it.
But I'm curious, because if you're saying that, things are good, like you're not necessarily unhappy, like you happen to have a good kind of situation between you guys, like what exactly is the situation? Like what are the sort of like parameters that you have? Like you don't live together, or like it's not a defined relationship? Like what exactly is it that you have been so good with that, suddenly you feel like you need to make the changes to make it something more? Is it the fact that you have a kid now? I'm just wondering what the shift is, and like why it was a good situation and suddenly it's not.
Well, yeah, I think situationship, I have to imagine that means it's not defined. So,
okay.
And to me, this reads that she would like it to be defined, but it's him who's hot and cold. And honestly, whenever I hear hot and cold in regard to a situationship, especially if it's been going on for 2 years, that's a red flag for me. That push and pull, like it just doesn't seem like he's consistent. And obviously inconsistency is a form of consistency. Like I understand that you guys have a child together and it definitely complicates things, but don't stay with someone who you are not fulfilled by or who makes you feel this way just because you have a child. That's all I'm saying is like, I know that's really hard, but if this man isn't wanting to give you the family that you want, it's not worth sticking around for breadcrumbs.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And it seems that you've been trying to convince yourself and this person this was all you ever needed and wanted. And then you ended up pregnant and you're like, maybe this will I'm not saying that was what happened, but again, you found somebody that was have their cake and eat it too. And you were like totally fine with that. And then you ended up having a child with them. And of course you can't expect them to rise to the occasion.
She says, we still aren't in anything official. Yeah, no, babe, It's been 2 years and you have a child together. If you're still not in anything official by this point, I don't necessarily think that will change. But we don't know for context if you've had this conversation. So I think it's totally fair if you haven't had the conversation to say like, I need this. I want us to be a family. And then if he doesn't, then time to move on with your life, bigger and better things. And also don't let your situationship stop you from meeting your soulmate.
Yeah. I think you can tell him that like, hey, we have a kid now. I think it's time that we either like become a unit and become something more defined and official. If not, like I kind of want to like move on and either like focus on myself, or I'd like to be able to focus on somebody else.
And also someone would be lucky to have you and your son. You're not like, just because you're a single mom, I know it feels harder and scary and it definitely adds another component to dating. But I know so many people who've gotten divorced that have kids, or relationships that have kids that go on and meet their person.
Yeah. Like, because while you're not unhappy, you're not completely fulfilled. So I think have the conversation. If he's not gonna step up, then move on.
Yeah. Kirsten says, hi, Katie and Dana. Katie, as a fellow Capricorn, I feel like I know you and relate to you so much. Dana, your wit and sarcasm never fail to bring me up. On to my question. My ex-boyfriend broke up with me 7 months ago. We were together a year and a half, and it was incredibly eventful. We went to 4 weddings over 5 states, Canada, and spent a lot of time with his family. We talked about marriage, and I truly felt like I would spend the rest of my life with him. We hooked up for 4 months after the breakup until I told him I couldn't do it anymore. The next week, he had a new girlfriend with the person he was talking to during the breakup. He was absolutely devastated. Since then, I have had an obsession with them. I have tried so many cycles of abstaining from looking at her public Instagram, but it seems that after a few days, I look again. I now know stuff I wish I hadn't. The places they gone together, his new job, her meeting the parents. I feel incredibly stuck and scared of the cycle. I feel like my brain is being so mean to me because I know keeping tabs is only hurting me as they live wonderful lives. I feel like a loser, no dating prospects. I don't like my job. Most of my friends moved away. I'm angry he gets to have a wonderful life, and here I am pining after someone who probably doesn't even think of me anymore. I would love some advice on how to get myself to stop keeping tabs and focus on me. I literally have considered looking into if I have OCD because ruminating thoughts have just gotten out of line. I just want to be happy. Thank you for this wonderful podcast. It genuinely helps so much. Ruminating thoughts? Take a seat. So, hi, OCD sister. First of all, if you have the resources and availability to, I highly recommend getting into therapy. A therapist can help you diagnose that if that is the case, but they can also help you navigate it. I also would highly recommend reading the book, The Untethered Soul, because it basically talks about how our inner thoughts, you're supposed to look at it as your roommate. So whenever you're getting talked at you, it's not actually you, you're witnessing it. It's your roommate. Unfortunately, our minds are really powerful, both fortunately and unfortunately. So I can say that, give you all of these tools and tell you to see a therapist, but I still struggle with this. It's absolutely a thing. Honestly, what I would do if I were you is I would block both of them and don't unblock them for you, just so you can't see it. And like, don't feel any shame or worry about them knowing that. Let them know that. Who cares? Comparison is a thief of joy. And when you're looking at their lives and you're feeling slighted, and I also understand I've had a situation like that where they have a new girlfriend immediately and you were, sleeping together and probably had hopes that you would get back together. So I feel like when that happens, when they start dating someone so quickly, it is something that you fixate on and then compare to. But you're right. I'm glad that you know that it doesn't serve you, and good for them. Let them go live wonderful lives. You too can live a wonderful life. You deserve a wonderful life. But if you focus on the fact that you don't have dating prospects, you don't like your job, and your friends moved away, and then you're just looking at all the things you're doing, you are not going to move forward. No. So block them, make it your business to stay out of theirs, and definitely recommend finding someone you can talk to about that.
Yeah, I would say like him moving on, them being together, them doing all the things, and you lacking in those things is not a reflection of you and where you're at and anything like that. I think it is perfectly normal to feel, this way to a degree. I mean, I think everyone does who ends up in this situation feels very similar, and you can become obsessive if you let it spiral. So I think taking all that energy and redirecting it into yourself, into a hobby, into getting out, being physically active, I think is one of the best, most healthy of the ways to do it. And I know it's the hardest thing to do, but I think just it is the most productive thing to do, that you can possibly do. It requires a lot of motivation, but honestly, it's going to make your brain just like much more active into something else, and it's going to make you feel so much better. But yeah, I agree. Blocking them, trying to just like remove it from your visual diet as much as possible. Talking to someone, again, just getting yourself out there and around new people as much as possible, I think is going to just be so much better for you.
Also, I want you to give yourself grace. You only broke up 7 months ago and you were sleeping together for 4 months. So that means you have not even stopped sleeping with this person until the last 3 months. And I'm sorry, but when someone moves on right away, a week after they go through a breakup or you stop hooking up or whatever, that is a weak person 9 times out of 10. And 9 times out of 10, it's a man. Whenever you hear about that, like I feel like women tend to take time and heal. And it's not a contest for who's in a relationship first. That doesn't mean anything, honestly. And so you really need to not make that a reflection on you, like Katie was saying.
Yeah.
Like, you need to heal and get better from this before you even start considering dating.
Yeah, but part of that is not looking at their stuff.
No, yeah, totally. But I'm just saying, like, in general, for you, like, you know, you have healing to do. So don't compare what's going on. So
exactly.
we love you so much, though. I'm sorry you're going through that.
I know. I'm so sorry. It's tough.
Well, I think we've solved all the problems we can for the day.
I hope this helps.
Hope this helps.
Please, write in your Am I the Asshole questions, your hometown hero stories, whether it's if you're in a cult, if you've been on a bad date.
We're lacking cult stories, you guys. Where are the cult stories?
Where are the cult stories?
How many more times do I have to scream your name? Where are the cult stories? Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.